1970s, when I was 14, and new cosmetics aimed at teens were appearing. I had been haunting the makeup counter at Boots for a while and decided I needed lip gloss, eyeshadow and mascara. I didn't get much pocket money from my parents, so I've been using the burnt tips and matches mixed with Vaseline as mascara. The result was disastrous when it smushed, as it often did, leaving me resembling a sick panda more than my idol, Twiggy. Around this time, Biba's makeup range for Dorothy Perkins appears. The products were slightly more expensive than those in Boots, but the glamorous Art Deco-inspired packaging made them irresistible. I got a Saturday job selling ice cream and was finally able to afford some Biba lip gloss. I loved the little black pot it came in, with the Biba logo in gold on the lid, and kept it for years. 50 years later, I couldn't wait to take a delicious trip down memory lane and visit the Biba story in 1964 to 75, the first major exhibition devoted to the brand. So this is a picture of Twiggy. It says Twiggy in one of Biba's more opulent dresses in the 1970s. The displays are full of everything from dresses, accessories and makeup to Victorian hats, hat stands and even tins of Biba branded baked beans. The company was the brainchild of Barbara Hulanicki and her husband Stephen Fitzsimon. Hulanicki was born in 1936 in Warsaw, but moved to Britain with her mother in 1948. She began her career as a fashion illustrator after studying at Brighton College of Art. Fitzsimon thought her real talent lay in design, and in 1963 they started a small mail-order business named Biba. Their first major success came a year later, when a £3 pink gingham shift dress and matching headscarf appeared in a fashion feature in the Daily Mirror. They received 17,000 orders, reflecting the huge appetite for chic but affordable clothing. They opened their first boutique in Kensington the same year. Within 2 years, they had to move to larger premises on Kensington Church Street. The store had an atmosphere more like a nightclub, with dark interiors, beautiful fittings, and background music. It quickly became a focus for swinging 60s Londoners, with customers ranging from Anita Pallenberg to the Beatles, and still of black. Dresses and feather boas were draped over the furniture. Art Deco-inspired paper covered the walls, and curtains blocked out the outside world. Hulanicki once said, "From day one of the first Biba, I was never quite certain which came first, the clothes or the interiors." By the early 1970s, it had outgrown the shop in Church Street and moved to much larger premises on Kensington High Street. Dorothy Perkins was acquired by the property developer British Land, and in 1973 it moved Biba into the former Derry and Thomas department store in Kensington High Street. Big Biba, as it was known, was praised in the press as the most beautiful store in the world and attracted hordes of eager shoppers. I was too young to visit, and by the time I was old enough, Big Biba had gone. Hulanicki and Fitzsimon had a major falling out with British Land about the commercial direction of the company and left in 1974. The store closed the following year. From the start, Big Biba was much more than a department store. It was the world's first lifestyle brand and an extraordinary experience blending shopping with theatre. The shop was divided into 15 atmospheric departments, designed and built by the same company that created retail therapy session. Customers could sip cocktails among real flamingos in a famous roof garden, or in the amazing Rainbow Restaurant, which featured live music from Biba's house band, Manhattan Transfer. So you can see here like what the interiors look like. You get an idea of like the design of the interiors, and you can see the Art Deco influence throughout. So it says Biba's fabulous cosmetics department. And then we've got some old artifacts like an old food shopping bag and a guide to the new store. It's like one of the dresses, and then a picture taken by the celebrity photographer Brian Duffy for a Biba advertising campaign. And this is described as a bishop sleeve dress. Circa 1970. And this looks like the famous English model Jean Shrimpton. It wasn't just women who were regulars at Big Biba. Glam rock stars such as Mark Bolan, David Bowie, and Brian Ferry all hung out there and drew inspiration for their own stage looks. Biba was a forerunner of today's affordable brands such as H&M and Topshop. There was the same energy, the buzz, and the rush to get something new, something cool, at a price point most people could afford. Biba really was about creating that sense of belonging, or being in with the in crowd. Unlike Mary Quant, Hula Nikki designed clothes that were affordable on an average secretary's salary. Because her clothes were too cheap to feature in the high-end fashion magazines, Hula Nikki decided to create her own catalogs. She worked with some of the best photographers of the day, including Helmut Newton and Sarah Moon, and was able to draw on her own expertise as an illustrator to create a glossy, beautiful, and highly successful product. The catalogs enabled her to take her brand nationwide and overseas. In 1970, she launched Biba's own line of cosmetics, which became one of its most successful products. As Biba was by then mostly owned by Dorothy Perkins, they became available in hundreds of the chain shops across the country. Biba's colours were novel, unusual, and exciting. They included mulberry and chocolate brown lipsticks, with matching eyeshadows and contour powder for the cheeks. Hula Nikki was also the first to create a full range of cosmetics for darker skin. There were several attempts to revive Biba over the decades, but none succeeded until House of Fraser bought the brand in 2009. 5 years later, Hula Nikki, who is now 87, became a consultant to the brand she founded. So this is where one of the stores was located. Got some of the old tags for the clothes, and they all have sort of distinctive design on them. design of the exhibition was about the spirit of Biba, rather than a pastiche of the physical spaces. The moody warm colours, the Art Deco lamps, the graphics, these are